LH778 Lufthansa Frankfurt to Changi in Singapore on Thursday the 6th of July 2017 on an Airbus A380-800, leaving at 9:55 p.m, a whopping 12 hours and 20 minutes in the air. This is the middle flight of 3. We flew in from St. Petersburg on a 3-hour flight, and after this we flew out of Singapore on a 9-hour flight. So we're transiting at Frankfurt, which means there's no need to check in, and our bags will automatically go from our last flight to our next flight. Well, we hope they will. So we had to get ourselves from one side of the airport to what felt like the absolute other side of the airport. But it was quite exciting. We caught a little bus from our plane, and then we caught a little train to our terminal. That's super exciting, right? All sorts of transport in one trip. Lufthansa 778 took off 32 minutes late at 10:27 p.m, and it landed exactly the same number of minutes late at the other end. Frankfurt Airport is incredibly well signposted, and we went directly from our inbound gate to our outbound gate. I did get a little bit sick of walking through grey corridors though. Once I spent a 9-hour flight sitting next to a Lufthansa engineer. I learned lots of great little tips and tricks from them. One really interesting thing I learned is that traffic flows through Frankfurt are monitored, controlled and changed. So sometimes, if the routes have just changed, you can end up walking down a corridor all on your own.
Look how fast those feet are going.
When we got to our gate, our plane was already there. D-AIMF was manufactured in 2010, although it wasn't delivered to Lufthansa until March of 2011. And since then, it appears to have spent its entire life flying in and out of Frankfurt. Admittedly, each time it goes almost halfway around the world, average distance just over 8,000 kilometers per flight. The A380-800 is a very, very large aircraft. Lufthansa has this one configured to take 509 passengers, 371 economy, 52 premium economy, 78 business, and 8 first-class suites. We were delayed by about half an hour due to an electrical storm. Did you see that? Did you see it? I got the lightning. Look again. Ha-ha! Cool. As you might imagine, with that many people on the plane, boarding took a little bit of time. Although I was pleasantly surprised with how efficiently that many passengers ended up getting onto the plane. Some of that we have to put down to Frankfurt's incredible efficiency, and some of it to having 3 air bridges. So we went downstairs and then walked through the air bridge that was meant for us. I was in seat 57A, which is at the very back of the premium economy section.
Have a nice flight. Maybe you can sleep. See you later.
We pushed back from gate Z54 and then taxied over to our runway, which was runway 18. We took off directly to the south. Looking out the window during takeoff, there weren't that many lights, which is a little bit of a shame. I mean, there were runway lights, there were just no other lights to see. So the takeoff footage isn't as awesome as I would have hoped. It's still pretty awesome, but just not totally awesome. We taxied for 32 minutes. 32! It doesn't look that far on the map. Frankfurt Airport has about 500,000 flights per year. That's about 1,400 a day. With 70 million passengers, that's about 135 passengers per plane. An average of 135. That's a lot of people. So from that we can conclude that pretty much every flight is a wide body. Wow. Okay, let's go. So it's quite tricky in that footage to figure out exactly when we left the ground. And in reality, it was also quite hard to figure out when we left the ground. This thing's enormous and it just sort of floats through the air. This is quite different from any other flight experience I've ever had. I'm not sure if I really like it or I really don't. I think I like it. There were 2 meals served during this flight, the first of which was dinner, and the second was breakfast. For dinner, there was a seasonal salad with Thousand Island dressing, and then for the main, there was a choice between beef strips and a creamy sauce with mashed potatoes, green peas and carrots, or chicken thigh with black beans and jasmine rice. I went with the chicken. And for dessert, there was frangipane tangerine cake with cream. That just sounds really funny, doesn't it? Frangipane tangerine. Frangipane tangerine. And there were 2 buns, a wee chocolate and a chunk of cheese. The salad was light and quite yummy, and how can you go wrong with Thousand Island dressing? That combination of ketchup and mayonnaise, yum. 8 out of 10. Wait a salad, Lufthansa. Into the hot meal. There's chicken, ooh yum, and some carrots, well yeah, there may be 6 carrots, and a huge amount of rice. What do I think of that? Maybe I should have had the beef. 4 out of 10. Sorry about that, Lufthansa. Yeah, that's right. These videos are much harder to make than you thought. Okay, bun number 1, the wholemeal bun. Slightly heavier than I was expecting, but combined with that light and creamy European butter, it was actually really good. 7 out of 10. I wonder what number 2 is going to be like. Quite a different creature, number 2. A light white bun with a crispy crust. It was really, really nice. I'm going to give it 7 out of 10 as well. Good buns, Lufthansa. For the beverage service, there was a full bar. Fantastic. There was beer, wine, and I think spirits. I don't really do spirits, so I don't remember. I went for a lemonade sort of thing, which was kind of okay. It wasn't really fabulous, but I think that might be my problem, not Lufthansa's problem. I just chose a stink drink. So for a full range bar with a few local options thrown in, that's pretty cool. 7 out of 10. After struggling with my spoon, I got into my frangipane tangerine cake. It was light and delicious and really, really yummy. Although, where's the cream? Now that I think about it, where were my cherry tomatoes on my salad? I was heading for an 8, but no cream, Lufthansa. What were you thinking? That's a 7. Airline coffee is often sort of just like airline coffee, just not that great. On this flight, we had milk that didn't appear to be from anywhere. I'm assuming it's from Europe. It's European milk. I emptied both of them in, because if they give you something, you should have it, right? A lovely little stir stick, give that a stir. I hate to think how much plastic I'm putting into the landfill on this flight. But wait, there was a little bonus from Lufthansa. Swiss chocolate. Yum, yum. What a doofus. Why did I stand it up like that? Weirdo. So the coffee was just kind of coffee, and the chocolate didn't really overwhelm me. That's sort of a shame because it's a super nifty idea. I'm going to give you points for effort, Lufthansa. 5 out of 10 for the coffee, 2 bonus points for the chocolate. 7 out of 10. Solid effort. Now I don't normally drink much, but when they offered me a Bailey's Irish Cream, I thought, how could I not? So I did, and I'm so pleased I did. That was really yum. Nice touch, Lufthansa. That's certainly going to help Lufthansa's cause if there's any part points after we average. Maybe we'll round that up. I couldn't for the life of me figure out what to do with this cheese. It was a quarter round of cheese. I mean, it was just a big chunk of cheese. Turns out my wife is a super genius, and she said I should have it with my bun. I'd already eaten my bun, and she gave me a little bit of hers. How awesome is that? Seems like it's a really good idea to always travel with someone who loves you. I don't know how to score this. I don't even know what it is. It's just bonus cheese. But it was really good. Like, really good. Yeah, those Europeans know how to do cheese. It was super yummy, and it was a perfect complement for that white fluffy bread with the super crispy crunchy crust. Yum. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So how average was that dinner? The salad had Thousand Island dressing, which was great, though it was missing its cherry tomatoes. Still got an 8 though. The main had too much rice and not enough chicken or carrots. That's a 4. Bun number 1, great, 7. Bun number 2, excellent as well, 7. The bar selection was extensive. Cold beverage gets a 6. The pudding got a 7, even though there was no cream. The coffee got boosted up by that chocolate to 7. And then there was that cheese. I wasn't sure what to do with it, but it got an 8, so we'll add it to the board. That's an average of 6.75. That nightcap's coming into play. Bam! 7 out of 10. This is premium economy, so you expect something a little bit better, but this was good. It is worth the 7 out of 10. Good work, Lufthansa. This plane, D-AIMF, is 6.5 years old, but to be honest, it feels totally brand new. Everything's in fantastic condition. The plane was really quiet and the entertainment system was totally top notch. Nice work, Lufthansa. We were in premium economy, which had slightly larger seats with a little bit more recline and almost 20 centimetres of additional legroom, which definitely made it easier to sleep, and on such a long flight that was certainly helpful. Lufthansa has a fleet of 293 aircraft. That's quite a lot. They have 14 A380s like this one. I find Lufthansa a little bit hit and miss, and the experience you have depends a lot on the crew you get and the plane you get. If you end up on one of their 20-year-old 747-400s, the experience is somewhat different from the experience we had today. However, today's flight has had a fantastic crew on a beautiful plane that has been immaculately maintained. 8 out of 10. Look, there's a rainbow! Breakfast was a cheese omelette with cheddar cream, spinach, tomato sauce and potato rosti. There was also fruit muesli with yogurt. For some reason at the time I thought the fruit muesli and yogurt was porridge. I still thought it was really good porridge. Watery, fruity, weird porridge. Muesli and yogurt makes a lot more sense and actually makes it even yummier. That's a 7 out of 10. Yummy yum yum. I approached the omelette with much trepidation. Eggs are so frequently downright awful on planes. Almost impossible to get even close to edible. But this, I don't know what they'd done. This was fantastic for airplane eggs. This was absolutely amazing for airplane eggs. Not the best eggs I've ever had in my life, but definitely the best eggs I've ever had on a plane. 9 out of 10. I heated the bun up on my eggs. Obviously this is a little bit out of sequence. The butter from Germany was hard. I know they have to sort of keep it in the fridge, but you think they'd take it out a little bit before they, give it to you. The jam from Switzerland, well, the company's from Switzerland. Who knows where the jam's actually from? It spread pretty well. It tasted okay. Overall, the bun was fine. 5 out of 10. They offered juices and water. I probably could have asked for something else, but I didn't. I got apple juice, and it was really good apple juice. So good selection, good juice. That's a 7 out of 10.
You can go a bit higher.
Wow, that director's a bit of a control freak. So here's a filming from above of coffee. Because I had 2 milks, I put 2 milks in. That's the way I roll. Didn't make it any better though. Still just airline coffee. But after sleeping on a plane or not sleeping on a plane, coffee is purely functional. It's a requirement. 5 out of 10. So the cold brekkie got 7, the hot brekkie, that amazing eggs, got 9, best score I've ever given. The bun might have done okay but got marked down for cold hard butter. 5. Good selection of juices and anything you really wanted to ask for. 7. Coffee was just coffee. That's 5. An average of 6.6. Because of that super special omelette, I'm going to round that to 7. And also because that's the rules of rounding. That's why I rounded it that way. We tracked southeast for most of this flight and flew over land almost all the way. We took off from Frankfurt to the south. We landed in Singapore from the northeast. We landed on runway 20C and then taxied for 8 minutes to gate E5 at Changi Terminal 2. Out of my window as we come into land, you can see where they've cleared away all the forest to build the new Terminal 5. Let's get down there.
Meine Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen in Singapur. Bitte bleiben Sie noch so lange angestellt sitzen, bis wir unsere endgültige Parkposition erreicht haben und die Anschnallzeichen über Ihnen ausgeschaltet sind. Jedenfalls noch eine gute Weiterreise. Vielen Dank und auf Wiedersehen. We apologize for our delay and hope that...
And we're off! But this isn't the end of our travels. We're transferring to another flight here in Singapore, so we have no bags to pick up. Instead, we'll be catching the SkyTrain over to Terminal 1. While we transit, let's recap and sum up. Dinner was overall very good. There was plenty of it and it was nice. That's a 7. The plane felt absolutely brand new, even though not being quite brand new, had a great entertainment system and the seats were pretty comfy. It got an 8. Breakfast was also very good. It got a 7. That's an average of 7 1/3. Call it 7.5. That makes the trip well above average. Good work, Lufthansa.
Welcome to Terminal 1.
The absolute best thing about transiting at Changi is that there's a pool. Alright, have a quick splash before the next flight. Please subscribe and watch every single video we ever make.